Welcome back, members. And right now we are about to enter the Poplar neighborhood. We're exiting the Northern Liberties neighborhood. We're making a left on Girard Avenue, turning off of 5th Street. On our right hand side is the Ludlow neighborhood. On our left hand side is the Poplar neighborhood. We're gonna make a left hand turn on Randolph Street, and I'm gonna show you guys what the Poplar neighborhood looks like. We're on Randolph Street. On our left and on our right hand side, we have some beautiful brownstone row home buildings. There are cars behind me, so I do apologize. I'm speeding up past 5 miles per hour. On our right, we have a house with some yellow vinyl siding. On our left, we have a house with a porch. Make note, most of the homes do not have vinyl siding and or porches. On our right hand side, we have an awesome old school 1.8 Corolla wagon. You see it? The Toyota Corolla. It was like a silver color. Oh man, that thing was beautiful. Really, really nice looking. At the end of this block, they made a bunch of new homes on our left hand side. Check it out. These are new on our left. On our right hand side, we have one new one, and then this whole giant building on our right, that's new. And all of these on our left is new. We're exiting the 900 block of Randolph Street. I'm gonna make this right hand turn. If we go left, we'll hit 5th Street. Past 5th Street is the Northern Liberties neighborhood, but I already showed you guys the Northern Liberties neighborhood. This new building on our right, they call it the Randolph. That's what they named it. Makes sense because it was built on Randolph Street. We're at 6th and Poplar in the Poplar neighborhood. I can make a left. This is still the Poplar neighborhood. These homes, I'm gonna go off of the main road and just go through this little side driveway. These homes, they were probably made, I can't put an exact date on them. I would say within the last 30 years, 20 to 30 years, I'm guesstimating. But they're probably some of the oldest, newest additions in this community here. This female is getting out of a Delaware vehicle. This is Marshall Square Apartments in front of us for lease. Now there are project housing in the Poplar neighborhood. There's 2 sets of projects nearby. You have the Richard Island projects not far. Oh, that's an interesting bird. What is that? That bird is eating something. Yo, look at that bird. What the? Yo, that bird was eating a little miniature bird. Yo, feathers. That bird was eating a little teeny bird. That's a carnivorous or carnivorous bird. Was that wasn't an eagle, right? That thing was small. That thing was like this big. Yo, whatever he was ripping apart was a bird, because when he flew away, a bunch of little teeny weeny feathers flew away, and he picked up the carcass and flew away. What are the odds that we drive through here and we see that, guys? That is incredible. All right. Yeah, so these are relatively new. They're not as new as some of the newer additions, but they're relatively new. We got a little apartment complex right here. We have Parish Street on our left. I could make a left on Parish Street, but that's gonna take us back to 5th Street, which you guys got a chance to see in the previous 360. I'm gonna make this left here so you guys can get a closer look at their living space over here in the Poplar neighborhood. Again, these are some of the older, newest additions in the Poplar neighborhood. These were probably made within the last 30 years, I'm guesstimating. Maybe you guys can look them up. 823 Marshall Street, Philadelphia, PA. It might give you an exact date on the construction. I won't be surprised if they were made in the 70s, the 80s, maybe even the 90s. But I know when I was growing up, these were always here. That's what I'm trying to say. I was born in 88. So in my earlier years, I always drove by these. This is new. This was made within 3 years ago. Last three years, this little addition, because it used to be like a little yard space. I guess they sold off their yard space. We have a really bright yellow Service Master Restore 24-hour emergency service vehicle. I'm gonna make this left-hand turn. I have an odd squealing sound. from all of these potholes and stuff. We're at 6th and Brown. This whole building on my left is brand new. That's brand new. There used to be like a little one-story, like a store building here. It was closed down for quite some time. They bought it and they made that. On our right-hand side, we do have a school. There's a school on our right-hand side. General Philip Kearney Public School. I'm gonna make this right-hand turn. We have a Mexican restaurant right here on our left-hand side called La Kate Draw. Kate Draw. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce it. Catrel? I don't know. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. We're on Fairmount. Boom. Making new properties. Brand new properties. We're passing Marshall. I can go down Marshall. I should, but there's a little donut and chicken spot where a youngster was shot here recently while he was eating donuts and chicken with his mother. This is 7th and Fairmount Market. You see this on our right hand side is Federal Donuts. Federal Donuts, there was a shooting. Somebody walked by, I don't know, there was a shooting happening out here. The bullet went through the glass and hit the youngster. He was like 11, 12, 13 years old, in his leg. On our right hand side used to be the Concilio. It was like a hall, an event hall. They bought it out, they knocked it down, they made all of those houses. How I have a connection to this corner, when I was 13 and I had my 8th grade dance, or 12, 13 years old, and I had my 8th grade dance from Julio de Burgos, they held it at that hall. So my 8th grade dance was on this corner. I recall driving to this corner in a 1988 Honda Civic. My pop let me drive that day to my own dance. Kids were coming in limos, kids were getting dropped off. I drove myself in a 1988 hatchback Civic to that dance, and it was right there on that corner. But they bought it and they made all them houses. Them houses were made within the last 10 years. On our left is the projects. I can go straight. I'm gonna go straight. I'm gonna show you guys the projects. One of the projects that's in the area, and then we'll wrap our way back around and I'll show you guys some of the other parts of the neighborhood. You have the Liberties West condominiums on our left hand side. Passing Franklin Street, the 700 block of Franklin Street to our right. We're gonna make a left-hand turn coming up on 8th Street. We're right around the corner from the courts. Like if you were to get a ticket, you gotta go to traffic court. It's like a block away from here. Friends Housing Cooperative. Check out these properties on our right. Beautiful looking little homes. Wow, we just passed 666. What an address. The roads are so bumpy. It's like if you got seasick easily, you don't want to drive through some of these streets. These are the projects over here on my left-hand side. We're coming up towards them, passing Wallace Street. These buildings right here. You see these buildings? PHA. You got the PHA vans on the right. PHA is Philadelphia Housing Authority. There's been numerous shootings in these projects and within the area. We're not far from Chinatown either. Let's make this left. Wow, they bought out the parking lot that was here. There was a parking lot. Remember I said, you remember? Remember I said that there was the parking authority courts around the corner? That lot you used to have to pay to park and go and pay your tickets. They sold it out and now they made a giant building. We have a young man over here on my right hand side, masked out with another young man, hanging out next to the projects. So there's usually a lot of headlines in this area. There's been a handful of headlines that I can recall. One where someone got off of the bus. This is the Spring Garden Apartments. On our left and our right, this is the projects. Somebody was getting off of the bus. I don't know what happened. I think a female called her I don't know if it was a significant others, brothers, or whatever. Look at Edgar Allan Poe. See the mural over here on our left? Edgar Allan Poe. Let's go straight and then we'll come back around. Right here, I think this was the corner where, I don't know if somebody said something to her on how she was reprimanding her kids or something. Long story short, she called her folks. As she was getting off of the bus, those 3-4 guys waiting out here, they shot up the bus and the person who was in it. Then there was another situation where, wow, they knocked down some, bro, it's like every time I come through here, like, they keep knocking stuff down, bro. So, to my knowledge, one of these projects, it might be this one, has the nickname Pentown. Pentown. I don't know how it got its name. That's all new on our left, guys. That's new. This is all new. This whole entire construction is new. There used to be a plaza here. Fun. It's probably not that fun. Footnote, on that plaza that they knocked down over here on our left, we're passing Brandywine Street. that plaza, it was a low-level, one-story plaza, like Dollar Tree, Subway, and all that stuff. When they knocked down that plaza, and they just did this like 2-3 years ago, and they started excavating the ground, they found remains, human remains in the ground. We're not far from the Benjamin Franklin Bridge. It's right up the block. We're a minute away from entering New Jersey. So when they were excavating the ground, look at Center City, Philadelphia on your right, a beautiful view. They found the body and different remains. And the reason why they found remains is because before the plaza that was here, before this was here, this was church grounds. And you know how back in the 1800s, 1700s, they would bury people on the church grounds? So respectively, they try to identify those remains to replace them in another cemetery. But that's just an interesting footnote. Like, wow, like I drove by this my whole entire life. I've actually shopped in that plaza when it was a dollar store, and who knew that I was walking on top of remains that were buried under the ground? Crazy, right? We got Banca on our left. That was a bank. They repurposed it several times. There's a bunch of these buildings that they repurpose. There's like a little art auction building right here on our left. We have a couple holding hands on our right. Celebrating 250 years anniversary, the German Society of Philadelphia on our right hand side. We're at 7th and Spring Garden. We got American Red Cross on our left. Chinatown's right around the corner. We're at 7th and Spring Garden. I'm gonna make this right hand turn. This is the Edgar Allan Poe National Historic Site. On our right hand side, there's a sign right there. Parking Authority Court is right there on the corner. There used to be the Spaghetti Warehouse right off the block. It's the Spaghetti Warehouse. Surprisingly, I love spaghetti. I've never eaten there. That's why I said surprisingly. You would think that I love spaghetti. I would have eaten there once in my life. I've never eaten there. But I'll make note of that. That was right off the block. This is the Latvian Society, established in 1892. This is the Edgar Allan Poe House, ladies and gentlemen, right here on our left. That's why they got him painted right here. Edgar Allan Poe National Historic Site. I'm sorry, there's a car behind me. I wish I could slow down more, but, you know, traffic. Looking for my chapstick. This is gonna be a new site on our right, guys, a new site. So this project's right here on Wallace Street. That project, to my knowledge, to my understanding, has beef with another project, an ongoing beef throughout the years with another project not far from here, like 2 minutes from here, called the Richard Allen Projects. We're at 7th and Fairmount. So those projects are having a war amongst each other. That sounds sad, right? But that's the harsh reality of it. You have St. Nicholas Orthodox Cathedral on our right. Beautiful cathedral. These buildings on our left on 7th and Brown were new. They were made within the last 15 years. They have their own driveway and everything in the back. I love this cathedral on my right. Look up, look up. Look at it. St. Nicholas Orthodox Cathedral. Oh man, that looks so decent. On our left, we got a pretty interesting building around here on Poplar. I'm gonna show you guys this building. As you can see, they have their own little driveway over there. Fun story, I had made $100, well, like 90-ish bucks. Marshall Square on the right. Somebody threw away like 7 items that look in good condition. One of them happened to be an Atari, guys, with the box. An original Atari with the box. So I jumped out. The guy happened to see me jump out. I said, "Sir, is this trash, or are you having like a flea market sale?" He said, "It's trash, man. You can have it." This is the Young Scholars Charter School, all right? So I picked it up. Like one of my many stories, I literally just had a story like that a week ago. We picked up some boots, some skiing boots. They were in tip-top shape. Beautiful boots. I Googled them. We Googled them. They were worth $380. We put them on the internet. Guess how much we sold them for, guys? 110 bucks. It's like we picked up 110 bucks from somebody's trash a week ago. Oh, thank you for the blessings, guys. So look at this, is the Ukrainian American Citizens, or I'm sorry, Citizens Association right here on our left. And look on our right. Look at that dome structure. I'm wondering, I'm not too familiar with my religious architecture, but I'm wondering, since this is the Ukrainian building over here, I'm wondering if this is a Ukrainian church. I've documented this before. I've literally walked by here on a walking tour. I just can't recall off the top of my dome. Yeah, pray for Ukraine. Let me see. Ukrainian Catholic Cathedral of Immaculate Conception. Yo, gee golly, I'm a professional. Saying, that's funny, right? But, yeah, guys, it goes to show you. So we got a nice wide variety of ethnicities and backgrounds and religious beliefs in the area. The Fletcher Nesvich funeral home. So Nazevich, I'm assuming, since it's called Nazevich, it might just be the guy looked at me and smiled. Missionary Sisters of Mother of God Convent. Nazevich means that funeral home might cater towards the Ukrainian burial services, if that makes any sense, right? They might have that all in one block, because maybe the Ukrainians that live in America, or live in Philadelphia specifically, might want to just deal with a Ukrainian burial service, because they might have their own religious beliefs. I know I had a buddy, shout out to Dio Kanene. Dio's, it's a no outlet, I'm sorry. Just to top the story off, my buddy who was from West Trinidad and Tobago in high school, he knew I cut hair, and when his mother passed away, he asked if I can cut his and all of his brothers and his father's hair for their ceremony. We're at 6th and Brown. They basically did a ceremony near a river where they wore all these religious garments, and I cut like a circle. I cut all their hair off to bald, and I left them all a circle on their top of their hair, and they took the hair and they threw it in the river. So that was their religious ceremony. I think they were Hindu, because he was Indian. His father had a really strong Indian accent, not like Native American Indian, but not to be disrespectful, but have you ever seen The Simpsons when Abu from the quickie market says, "Hello buddy, thank you buddy, come again my friend"? That's how his father used to sound. My friend Dio had clear English accent. Like he didn't sound like he was Indian. He sounded like he was American, because he was born and raised in Philly. But his father and the elders were from their country. So they paid me to cut their hair, and to be honest, between me and y'all, I did school that day. I just stood home from school. My pop was cool with it. It was high school. And I went with them on their journey, and they appreciated it. They compensated me very well, you know, for cutting all their hair. And I was there for the ceremony, which was kind of surreal. But yeah, guys, so you guys got a chance to see a little bit of Poplar. I didn't get a chance to show you Poplar in its entirety today, because 4K 360 is a large file, larger bandwidth, a lot more time consuming to put together. But I've documented Poplar in the past, traditional virtual tour style, only showing you POV. So if you want to check that out, just type Poplar Philadelphia Tune 215 on your search, and my other Poplar videos should pop up.